Greetings, beautiful souls. Greetings. Today's video is entitled, Everything is Spiritual. And we'll just dive right on into it. Essentially, we have been told, or we have been shown through history, that to be spiritual is to do some kind of practice, some kind of spiritual practice, if you will. Pray, go to church, praise God, praise Allah, any of those religious aspects, if you will. And even to the effect of the metaphysical community has even been affected by this to a degree. And that is, essentially, you would say that the spirits or guides or whatever you're connecting to is the spiritual aspect. And one thing I have to remind everybody, remind them that they themselves, every one of you, is spirit, is spiritual. Any act, and every act you do is a version and a perspective of spirituality. Because it's spirit who's having the experience anyways. We are not having a spiritual experience. We are not humans having a spiritual experience at all. I mean, you could perceive that perspective to a degree, but what is essentially, and the mechanics of it is your spirit having a human experience instead of the other way around. And think to yourself, when you thought that you weren't being quite, I'm too spiritual for me to act this way. It's above me to demonstrate actions in this way. And I have to urge everybody that when you devalue or diminish one aspect, you devalue and diminish the whole aspect. You diminish it all. So you have to implore yourself to consciously look in the negativity for positivity. Because we are all spirits sharing this collective understanding of this reality. And any act and every act you do really is spiritual. But it's up to which degree do you allow yourself to see the spirituality in it. Here's an example. We'll turn back the sands of times a tiny bit, and we'll go to the day and age of the Holocaust. That event was polarizing. That event was a huge point of proclivity in a lot of people's lives, millions of people's lives. And in that moment, it was perceived, of course, to be negative. People were suppressed and compressed and segregated and what have you. And the point is now, in this day and age, today, we'll bring up to the current day. In the current day, the Holocaust has brought people together, has brought ideas and emotions and concepts out of people that would have never done it any other way. It couldn't have done it any other way because that's the way it transpired. And so sometimes in that moment, it doesn't serve one to, constantly just focus on what am I going to learn from this? What am I going to learn from this? The idea sometimes, not always, but sometimes, is to focus in the moment and fully examine that moment. Fully examine. Feel into it. How does it make you feel? If you're upset, if it makes you feel upset, feel upset. Allow it to come through you. But once you get to that point where you start perpetuating this concept that it's outside of you somehow, or you can't address it, you can't attach any kind of effect to it that is going to benefit you. So the notion is no matter what circumstances you're presented with, feel into it. Follow your heart. Listen with your heart. Use your integrity. And once you get to that point, the validation has happened. You validate it for what it is. And once you validate for what it is, then you can then use it. Utilize that platform and that perspective to transform in the same way the sentient structure of coal, the material and the substance that we have in the ground, coal. It gets to a certain point under so much pressure that it transforms into diamonds. It transforms into beautiful, multi-faceted, beautiful, light-reflecting crystals. But you think mechanically that coal does not transform into the diamond without any pressure, without any point of proclivity. And so that's where we're at in this day and age. We're at this point of proclivity. If you feed that perspective of negativity or conspiracy or whatever the concept is, that's what you're going to obtain. So don't force the situation into something else. Allow it to be what it is. But after you allow it to be what it is, you give it that space. Once that space is there, you get the monkey off your back. You get that concept that's been gnawing away at you, and you just let it go. Because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you to perpetuate the concept that's going to keep you away from your transformation. So just know that you are spirit. You are an aspect of God. You are that you are. And the fact is any and every aspect is spiritual of life, of experience of life. But it's up to you to really find out and figure out and investigate what's meant for you, or what is going to bring about the best of you that you can possibly be, your true natural self, whatever you can find in that now moment to bring the best part of you out. That's what you're going to find. Now, of course, if you're going down that road with the osmosis and the understanding that you're looking with a clouded judgment, you're going to find a clouded answer. Be clear with yourself first. Be clear. Because once you're clear, the clarity can come to you. Because everything you see, you're a part of anyways. You have to contain it to experience it. Otherwise, why would you experience it if you don't contain it? My beautiful friends, my family, all of you are amazing aspects of creation, and thank you for being you. This is a interesting time. This is a beautiful time. This is where truly, like my beautiful grand teacher Bashar has stated, that this is where the train tracks start to separate. This is where the timeline track of certain experiences are starting to split off. But think to yourself, in order for the splitting to happen, they all have to come together in a certain point. And once they come together at that specific point, that focalized singularity of existence, that gives you the gigantic ability to choose from any and all realities that exist. You no longer have to live in the steps of your family. You no longer have to live in the shadow of your father, or any person for that matter. With this allowance of creation, this allowance of you, you get to perceive more of you. So remember, my dear friends, whenever you're questioning how spiritual you are or how spiritual you're not, just know you're already 100% spiritual. It's just up to which degree do you allow yourself to perceive that in any facet that you come in contact with. As always, my beautiful folks, think with your heart. Listen with your heart. Live through your heart. It's our guiding light, my beautiful friends. I love you. Have a beautiful and creative day.